The pitch was the best thing a creator had heard in a generation. Sell your art once, and every time it resells, forever, a slice comes back to you automatically. 5%, 10% written into the token itself. A painter who sold a piece for $500 would earn again when it traded for $50,000. For about 2 years, creators believed this was the new economics of art. Then, almost overnight, the royalties went to zero, not by accident, by design. And the people who promised the dream were the ones who killed it. First, the thing nobody told the creators. Royalties were never enforced by the blockchain. People assumed the percentage lived inside the token and could not be removed. It could not. The royalty was a request, written in the metadata, that marketplaces chose to honor. The chain itself does not know what a royalty is. It moves the token and the money when told. Whether the seller pays the creator was always a decision made by the marketplace, voluntarily. The whole promise rested on goodwill, and goodwill in a competitive market has a short shelf life. Then competition arrived and the floor fell out. In late 2022, a new marketplace called Blur entered the NFT trading world aimed at professional traders. Traders hate paying royalties. It cuts directly into profit on every flip. Blur made royalties optional, then nudged them towards zero, and rewarded high-volume traders with its own token. Volume stampeded to where the fees were lowest. OpenSea, the incumbent, had enforced royalties for years. Facing collapse of its trading volume, it caved and made royalties optional too. The race to zero was over in months. Watch where the money actually went, because it did not vanish. It moved from creators to traders. Every dollar a creator used to earn on a resale became a dollar the seller kept. The collector, flipping the piece, pocketed the full spread. The marketplace kept its volume. The only party who lost was the person who made the thing in the first place. This is the oldest pattern in markets. When a fee becomes optional in a competitive race, it does not get reduced fairly, it gets eliminated, and the value flows to whoever had the most leverage. Traders had the volume. Creators had a polite request in some metadata. Creators tried to fight back with code, and this is where it gets interesting. Some projects deployed block lists, refusing to let their tokens trade on any marketplace that ignored royalties. It worked until it did not. Blocking the most popular trading venue meant blocking liquidity, and a token nobody can easily sell is worth less, which hurt the very collectors the creator needed. The creators were caught between getting paid and being tradable. Most chose tradable because an asset you cannot sell is not really an asset at all. The smarter response stopped relying on requests entirely. A new generation of token standards bakes the transfer logic into the contract itself, so the token literally cannot change hands unless the royalty is paid as part of the transaction. The chain still does not understand royalties, but the contract refuses to execute the transfer without the payment included. This is enforcement by code instead of by goodwill. It is harder to build. It can break composability with other apps, and it is still being standardized. But it is the first version of the promise that does not depend on anyone choosing to be honest. But the most durable answer was not technical at all. It was to stop selling pictures and start selling access. Creators realized that a royalty on resale was always going to be contested because the resale benefits the seller, not them. So they moved the value to the primary sale and to ongoing utility. The token became a key to a community, to events, to future drops, to gated content. You cannot copy a key's usefulness by ignoring a royalty. The creator controls what the key unlocks, and that control does not live in metadata anyone can strip. This is the quiet pivot the headlines missed. The projects that survived the royalty collapse were rarely the ones with the best art. They were the ones where the token did something. A membership that kept paying off. A status that meant something inside a community. Recurring drops that holders received. The art was the wrapper. The utility was the business. When the resale royalty died, the projects built on utility barely noticed because their income never depended on a fee the market could vote to zero. There is a brutal lesson here for any creator in any digital medium. Never build your income on a fee that someone else collects on your behalf and can choose to stop collecting. Platform creator funds, marketplace royalties, ad revenue shares, all of them share the same flaw. The party paying you also controls whether to keep paying you, and competition will eventually push that payment towards zero. The royalty collapse was not an NFT problem. It was a preview of what happens to any creator income that depends on someone else's voluntary generosity. So where does a creator put the money instead? On rails they control, sell access you can revoke, build communities that pay to belong. Use payment systems where you, not an intermediary racing, a competitor, decide the terms. The creators who came through the collapse with income intact were the ones who had already stopped trusting a percentage written in metadata and started owning the relationship with the people who valued their work. The token was never the asset. The audience was. From 100% to near zero, in the time it took 2 marketplaces to fight over traders. The dream was real for about 2 years, and then the market reminded everyone of a rule it never stops enforcing. A promise that depends on someone else's goodwill is not a contract, it is a hope. The creators who got paid in the end were the ones who built something the market could not vote away. The royalty was a request. The relationship was the only thing that was ever truly theirs. Before the next one, a quick note on where this channel lives. It runs on MXEL. Creators earn crypto for the content they already make. On rails they actually control, not a fee someone can vote to zero. If the collapse you just heard about bothered you, that is the entire point of it. It is at mxel.com.